I've never ever blamed any. I don't like going down that blame game of blaming people for voting Brexit. But what I will blame people for is not realising and owning up to making a mistake. Greetings and welcome, and come and join me in the van as I drive from Brighton to Worthing on this glorious, sunny, beautiful day on the south coast here. Finally, we've got a bit of sun. Let me just push that back in. There's an ice cream on a bus stop. Whose bloody idea was that? Ben & Jerry's ice cream on top of a bus stop. It looks like some seagulls just taking a giant, humongous dump on top of a bus stop. I'm not down with that. That just looks ugly as hell. Hopefully that will go soon. Anyway, as always, with my driving me videos, I'll be putting the topics down below. I'll timestamp them. If you want to skip forward to another subject, then do so. Although, to be honest, I'll probably be sticking mainly on the same topic today, because main thing in the news at the moment, politics wise, is the Northern Ireland protocol, isn't it? That's what's big in the news at the moment. And you know, I think this topic is strange for me because it's simple but yet extremely complex. At the end of the day, it's a very, very simple question and problem, and it was a simple thing to discuss at the beginning of the Brexit referendum with Northern Ireland. It was always going to be a problem, wasn't it? I mean, it's very simple. If we come out of the European Union and we have Brexit, you've got two choices. You've either got a hard border between Northern Ireland and Ireland, which is going to upset a lot of people, or you have a hard border between Northern Ireland and England and the rest of Britain in the sea, and that's going to upset a lot of people. So either way, people are going to get upset. So I don't really understand why we've got to this stage, and Boris Johnson is going, well, why are people upset? Because it was obvious that some people were going to get upset, isn't it? Sorry, for some reason my camera keeps flopping down. I'm going to plug it in a bit tighter while we've got a red light. Look at all these school kids there. There's something insanely cute about that, isn't it? When they all put their high-vis vests on and go out for a school trip. Genius idea, though, isn't it? School trips never used to do that before. Kids would just be the kids. The genius person that thought, hang on, let's put some high-vises on them, so if any get lost, we can see them. But anyway, massively divulging off the topic here. But yeah, at its core, it's a simple thing to understand, this problem in Northern Ireland. But when you actually start looking into it, and I'm sure you guys in the comment section will pick me up in any nonsense that I'm talking, because it is insanely complicated when you get into the nitty gritty of the situation. But the basic thing is simple, and you have the unionists in Northern Ireland that would love nothing more than a hard border between Ireland and Northern Ireland, which is probably the reason they voted for Brexit in the first place and thought it a perfect opportunity to get a solid, hard border between the two countries, when in fact it's actually flipped reversed and slapped them in the face the other way round, because now Ireland are closer to unification more than they ever have been. And I guess they put their trust in Boris Johnson to get that hard border done. But it's not going to happen. But was that ever even in the cards anyway? Did Boris Johnson ever say that? I don't think he did. Maybe the vote in Northern Ireland was the other way round for Brexit. Maybe the Irish, the Republicans, they wanted Brexit to get a united Ireland. Maybe I've got it completely wrong, I don't know. But it's a hell of a mess, isn't it? It's a hell of a mess. And as I keep saying in my videos, when I end up talking about Brexit, I haven't done it for a while, but I've ended up doing it twice in the week because it's big in the news at the moment, isn't it? We've had a certain few things come across. It's not just Northern Ireland, but it's the downturn in the economy that we're seeing, all other bits and pieces we're seeing recently, so it's back on the topic again. But I've never ever blamed any. I don't like going down that blame game of blaming people for voting Brexit. But what I will blame people for is not realising and owning up to making a mistake. You know, that's what I've always said. That's what I've always tried to say. It's an honest mistake to make. Back when you had to make your decision before the referendum, you had people on the Remain side saying it's going to hit our economy hard, we're going to have problems in Northern Ireland, we're going to have all these problems. But then you had people like Boris Johnson, Nigel Farage, Michael Gove, Patel in some cases saying, no, don't be silly, Europe is still going to want to trade with us just as before, there ain't going to be any problems, they're going to want to do this, it'll be fine in Northern Ireland. And you guys just decided, how many, is this, let me just let this, what's that, a police car? Grey police car? Oh, it's a little one of those little ambulance cars, isn't it? Somewhere. But yeah, you guys just decided to put your trust in Farage and Boris Johnson. I decided to put my trust in the people in the Remain camp. And I've always said I could have so easily gone for the other side if I just watched a certain few different YouTube videos or put my trust in a few posts on Facebook. I could have gone the other side as well. It was so easy to do. So I never have any problem. I don't have any problem with anyone that voted the way they did for them, voted for Brexit. But like I say, I do have a problem if you're still at this point not regretting your decision and not realising you made a mistake, because the evidence is just overwhelming. I mean, you could just go on for hours. We've got Northern Ireland, we've got the downturn in the economy now that we're seeing the loss of trade, we're seeing so many things that are obviously a direct result of Brexit. And all the news channels are reporting on it. This is what I said in my last video, that's becoming more common now. People spent so long trying to deny that it was Brexit. But now, you know, ITV, Sky News, Channel 4 for ages obviously have been, but news channels now, they're talking about the fact that it's Brexit. So like I say, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with anyone that voted for Brexit. And I kind of like to think and flip it on the other way round. Say what was going on. Say we remained, and weird scenario, but say Northern Ireland had left the European Union. So just completely flip the situation on the other hand and say that, pretend that Northern Ireland were doing fantastic because they come out of the European Union and they were independent and their economy was soaring and all the things that Brexiteers said would happen happened. How would I feel about owning up to making the wrong choice to vote Remain? I honestly don't think it would be that difficult. I don't think it would be that difficult to say that I made a mistake to vote Remain. If this hypothetical situation, Northern Ireland were doing fantastic. I'm a reasonably proud person. It's hard. It's always hard to admit when you're wrong. It's never a nice thing to do. But I don't really see it as such a massive deal. Not to me, anyway. But anyway, that's a crazy hypothetical situation that doesn't make any sense at all. But going forward, it's so obvious now. Like I keep saying, Northern Ireland is the pinnacle of. You know, people can blame the pandemic on the economic downturn and stuff like that. There's still a little bit of hiding, but Northern Ireland is plain and simple. The problems in Northern Ireland is Brexit, and it's not the pandemic. You can't report on anything else. It is Brexit, and it's another one of those things of just, what's the point? What's the point? What is the point of all of this? Why? It don't make any sense. Everything was fine in Northern Ireland, but Nigel Farage and his twat-faced crew decided to just put a spanner in the works. And from my recent video, we've had, well, it's all the videos on Brexit that we've done. We've had all the different theories to why Farage and his brigade decided to put a campaign to get this country out of Europe. Tax havens is the one that I see most common in the comment section. European Union were introducing laws on tax havens, so all those. I haven't looked into it massively. I'm sure you guys in the comment section will be able to give me some facts and figures about this, and whether it's even been done. But stuff like the Cayman Islands and the offshore bank accounts that we love so much in this country were under jeopardy from the European Union, and that's why people like Farage and big business rallied against trying to get the UK out. I'd love to hear some people in the comment section give me some more information about that, because it seems to be the most common comment that I get. Has it happened? Has the European Union started cracking down more? I'd love to know that. And the other big one, obviously, is the Russian involvement for Putin to weaken Europe, which is, it's so obvious. I mean, the facts are there. It's not like a conspiracy theory to say that Russia didn't put money into the Brexit campaign. They did. It's facts. You can't deny that. And it obviously massively helps Russia. But this is also the argument on the flip side when I get a lot of conversation about we'd never be able to rejoin the European Union. It would mean all 27 countries agree in it and certain circumstances and stuff like that. But would we not all put those differences aside for a stronger Europe right now with what's going on with Putin and Russia? I mean, I think that's shut that window. It's probably been really noisy this whole video, hasn't it? But it's a hot day. You've either got the noise from me having the window open or the noise from the aircon draining my battery. But yeah, we got to have a strong Europe. These differences, and I know it's all our fault. I know it's all the stupid squabbles from our end. Things were fine before. But this is the crux, isn't it? This is the crux of the whole thing. People in this country don't just suddenly wake up one morning and decide that they want to hate Europe. They don't. They wake up. It's over time. It's a spiraling effect of all the media that we have in this country. I mean, I guarantee any single country in Europe, if they had the media that we have in this country, we'd be having exactly the same problems. If they had Rupert Murdock, if they had the Daily Mail, if they had Farage and his cronies, you'd have exactly the same situation. Put all them in any European country and you'd have the same result. It's not like we're inherently bred stupid and ignorant in this country. It's the media have made us that way. And we've got to fight against it. Getting this how long has Murdoch got left, mate? He must be in his 90s or something. But then what happens when he dies? What happens when Rupert Murdoch dies? I mean, surely he just gets taken over. Has he got sons? I'm sure he's got sons, hasn't he? He's got to put his legacy forward, and then it just spirals over again, doesn't it? Flip turn. You got Johnny Murdoch doing exactly the same thing for the next 100 years. I don't think him dying is going to change much, but we need to kick this prick out. How do you do it? Good question. Good question. I mean, what's the difference with how do we establish in this country that the media that we have compared to other European countries? How have other European countries stopped Murdoch getting their claws into your media, and basically big business getting their claws in your media? Because that's what it is, really. It's their influence, isn't it? Why in this country, and why in America as well? Do we have certain free press laws? I guess that comes down to government involvement in press, which is always a bit of a dodgy area. I guess you're swimming on two extremes, aren't you? And you need to find something in the middle. When you have complete unfettered free press, you get UK and America, and you get Murdoch Corporation just flooding the whole country with their poison. Or you go the complete other way, where you've got complete government control over the press, and you've got North Korea and you've got China. So you need somewhere in the middle, and I guess that's what other European countries have managed to get hold of. But that is the key. Whenever you talk about Brexit, it's the media in this country. It's not the people. The people are swallowing up what they're given, and education as well, of course. It's tough. We're going to Shoreham and Harbour. It's nice little harbour there. Got some wind turbines on the seafront. It's a little bit breezy today. They're going. Well, actually, this is like Fisher's Gate, isn't it? If you want to get technical, I'm sure some local people will will inform me about exactly what's going on. Oh dear. So yeah, that's Brexit at the moment, which is big in the news, and it's good. It's good that it's big in the news, because as I keep saying, every single video that I do, it's further pushing public opinion. It's just slowly chugging over and carrying steam every single time a new problem comes up and it's publicised in the media. More and more level-headed people are deciding that this was probably a bad idea and very, very stupid, and what the bloody hell did we do? Prove me if I'm wrong. I got some lovely interesting comments in my last video. I don't know whether it's a good thing, but I have a habit of when I get a funny a funny comment from a Brexit supporter, I basically just put a facepalm emoji on it and pin it to the top of the comment section for everyone to see the idiocy of it. Because I've got to the point now where there's no point engaging. Sometimes I engage, but it's a fruitless activity, isn't it? And that's the main thing that I'm saying right now. The only people supporting Brexit is getting more minimal every single day. It really is. It really is. But the people that do have very loud voices. Is that an old boy having a swim in there? Yeah, go on, lovely. Oh, I bet it's beautiful in there, actually, isn't it? I bet it's beautiful. Oh, yeah, I definitely need to have a swim at some point. There's nothing better in the summertime when I've been stuck in this hot box of a van delivering all day. When I finish up, park up down the marina, and just go for a nice swim. You got to take advantage of living on the seafront. You really do. And so some people that live on the seafront don't take that advantage enough. They don't go for a swim. You need to go for a swim. You definitely do. I've got a kayak as well that I take out, which is really nice. Anyone that's members of my channel, I've got a video where I kayak round both piers, which is good. Go check it out if you're a member. It's £1. I think I put it on the lowest setting possible to become a member of my channel. So I think it's £1 a month. Just pay £1 for 1 month. You can cancel it afterwards if you want to see me kayaking around the two piers. But anyway, what was I saying? Going off topic again. Yeah, Brexit support. It's only the loud vocal support that they're still getting right now, and it really is minority. It really is now. I generally believe that most level-headed people that did vote for Brexit, they're realising their mistake, and it's just those hardened Brexit voters that just can't admit that they're wrong, and they're still clinging on. But it is a minority. It definitely is a minority. Talking of hardened Brexit supporters, Rwanda, I guess, has been in the news again recently, hasn't it? They're sending the first planes over there. That has to coincide with a distraction from the Northern Ireland thing, hasn't it? I mean, one, it keeps the racists happy when you're sending a flight over. I need to wash this van at some point, actually. On the way back, I think I'll stop off here and give it a wash, because it is caked in bird shit. Birds went to town on my van last night. A few aerial assaults with their bird shit on the van, but also I think like a couple of seagulls just stood on top of my van and then just decided to diarrhea themselves to hell while standing on it, and then flew off. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, Rwanda has to be a distraction from what's going on with the Northern Ireland protocol at the moment. It has to be. Like I say, it keeps the racists happy, and it's a distraction. I mean, right, let's send a plane over. Right, so they've sent a plane over. We've got a lot of protests over it at the moment. Who can be happy with this? Apart from the racists, which I've already said is a minority. Are the Tories just shooting themselves further in the foot with this? Are most moderate Tories not happy with this policy? Because that's what you have to keep bearing in mind with Tory voters right now. The loud, vocal, racist UKIP part of the Tory vote is a minority of the vote. It is. The majority of the Tory vote is elder, retired pensioners that want to look after their house prices, and I don't think they're I don't think they're I don't I don't know how to word this, but they obviously they care about their house price and their retirement fund and maybe the money that they're going to pass on to their kids, but I don't generally think they're bad people. And I think policies like Rwanda, like the hardcore Brexit that the Tories are giving us right now, are not appealing to these guys, and especially Partygate. You cannot underestimate the effect that Partygate has had on the Tory vote. For me, it's low down, as I've mentioned before. Partygate for me is very low down the list on the things that I can't stand about the Tory government. The corruption, the greed, the lies, the policies, the utter decimation of this country's services and the poverty that they put this country in. They're at the top of the list. Partygate is very low down. But for retiree Tory voters, it is number one. It really is number one, because there's nothing more. There's a few things that retired Tory voters love. Sticking to the rules. Sticking to the rules. They love sticking to the rules, and all during the pandemic, they stuck to the rules vigilantly, with passion. They put that mask on every single time they entered a supermarket. They only went out for their 20-minute walk a day during the peak of lockdown. They did not see anyone. They did not see their grandchildren. The thing that is probably most forefront in their life at the moment is seeing their grandkids grow up. They haven't got long left. That's what's so important in their life, and they didn't do that. So that's why seeing Boris Johnson do what he'd done affected him so much. So yeah, sticking by the rules. The Queen, they love the Queen. I mean, I think the most powerful image of Partygate has got to be the Queen sitting alone at her husband's funeral. That was so powerful. That single-handedly, more than... I know it's ridiculous. This is what's so ridiculous about this country. But that photo will do more damage and will put more people off voting for the Tories than all the decimation of public services that they've done, all the poverty that they've struck people into, all the corruption, all the greed. That photo alone, I guarantee, will do more to put Tory voters off more than anything. It really will. But yeah, they love the Queen, they love sticking by the rules, and they just like a bit of integrity. They do. In their leaders, they just want a bit of dignity. You know, they don't want them getting involved in scandal and you know, being silly. Why the fuck did they vote Boris Johnson in the first place? If they wanted someone with dignity and he's not stupid. I know, it's crazy. But the thing is though, what you have to remember about these guys, these older Tory voters, it still comes back to that minority racist vote that absolutely adored Boris Johnson. So many people during the 2019 election held their nose while voting for Boris Johnson. They did, because they couldn't stand Corbyn and they wanted Brexit done, because at the time they thought it was a good thing for the country. They should be realising now that it's not, but at the time they did. And don't underestimate how many people hated voting for Boris Johnson, but they felt like they had to. You know, that 2019 vote is skewed in so many ways. You can't generally think that Boris Johnson has got that much popularity in this country from that vote, because there was too many things. He had the whole Brexit vote on his side on that. Everyone, that 52% of the country that voted for Brexit voted for Boris Johnson without a doubt, because they wanted Brexit done. So straight away he had that. Whoever he could have been, it could have been any Tory leader, but they had that 52% straight away. And then you got a chunk of the Remain vote that maybe still voted for Boris Johnson just because they were so scared of Jeremy Corbyn. You can't underestimate that. There was so much popular media against Jeremy Corbyn during that election. You know, the difference between the 2017 election and 2019 election is stars. Absolutely stars. It's massive difference. And that's because of Brexit, and it's because of the media campaign against Jeremy Corbyn. So, in a fair fight, Boris Johnson's going down, especially with all the shit that's up against him now. He's going down. He is going down. But, you know, I've already... You going? You going? No? Alright, I'll go. But I've already said in a previous video that he won't be facing the next election. No chance. No chance. I can't see it. I cannot see it. They'll keep hold of him for another year and a half to swallow up all the shit, as much of the Brexit shit as possible, as much of the pandemic shit as possible. Of course, we got the reports that are going to be coming out over the handling of the pandemic. They're keeping him around for that, and they'll put a new face in for the next general election. He won't be facing another general election, no chance. But Boris Johnson only cares about being in power, so it'll take another year and a half of being in power to being shot now. I guess he knows what the deal is. He just wants that job. Dickhead. I can't wait. Just imagine though. I mean, I don't know who the new Tory leader is. I don't know whether they'll win the next election. But just imagine a world where you don't have to see or hear about Boris Johnson. Just think about that for a minute. Just think about that. Just take a good breath in. Oh, that'd be good, wouldn't it? That'd be really good. Here we are, Worthing Seafront. Lovely little town of Worthing, where I grew up. And on that note, I think I'll leave it. Was there anything at that? It's what always happens. I need to maybe just put like a little tiny blank list beside me of about 4 bullet points of the topics I want to talk about, because there was more that I want to talk about, but it's gone. But you know, I'm working. I'm on my way to work while I'm in between jobs. As always, thank you for watching. Thanks for your likes. Thanks for subscribing. If you watched this far and you haven't subscribe to the channel. Why not? There might be some other videos that you enjoy watching. We're not sponsored by anyone at the moment. Here we go. We're sponsored by McLaren F1 team. There you go. They might give me something. If you want to support the channel further, there's a thanks button below. Thank you so much for the thanks, super thanks in the last video. Ever getting closer to my new camera now. I'm about halfway there. Because my camera at the moment decides when it wants to be HD or not. Till next time, guys. Take care.